That's my horrible like roar of a iguanodon.
That, that's actually better than I thought it would be. There we go. So yeah, I'm holding this up because our power's out, and I figured this would be just enough time for me to get this video in, so I can go ahead and finally upload it and edit it and everything. So yeah, our power's out, and my room's a mess right now because my snakes escaped the other day, and I did find him. It was Jafar, but still had to tear the room up to find him. Anyway, guys, welcome to Jurassic Room, and man, it's gonna get annoying over time because I'm holding up a selfie stick. Anyway, we're doing this overdue review because tomorrow is May 19th, and that means that Disney's Dinosaur is turning 20 years old. Yeah, that one that has the talking dinosaurs. But anyway, it's one of my favorite Disney movies. Right up there with Tarzan and Brother Bear and Hunchback of Notre Dame and... I can't remember what the other one would be. But anyway, yeah. It's my second favorite Disney movie of all time. I'm severely nostalgic for it, and I love the movie. So I'm going to be doing this video biography on the film since it's turning 20 years old tomorrow. But anyway, I also want to show off some of the other stuff I got, some of the toys real quick, before I go into the full everything about the whole movie that I'm about to do. And hopefully I'm only shooting this part first so I can do my other stuff, and then I'll finish out with my thoughts and my official rating and just everything I really care about with the film. So I hope you'll enjoy this video. And remember, let's hit the 1,000 let's hit the 3,100 subscriber mark, and let's begin the video. So in regards to dinosaur toys, I have the Carnotaur hand puppet right here. I don't have any of the Mattel toys that came out. Just never got around to getting any of them. But I do have the Carnotaur hand puppet right here. That's really the only, with the McDonald's toys, which are the only ones I have. The Carnotaurus got a toy, and I'll go into that review of that later on. Aladar, Crone, and Nira also got hand puppets. But the other figures in the set were Bruton, as I got two of them right here. Three of them, I got three Brutons right here. Got Ema right here, Ema right behind the Ankylosaurus. And we should have Baleen right here. So I'll pull those out really quick. So we can get a good look at each of them. So we got Baleen. Many of y'all probably used to have a bunch of these toys. You used to love playing with these figures, and as you can tell, each of them have these little lock-on mechanisms up top, so you can actually attach the lemurs to them. I think I got the lemurs around here too, somewhere. I have to look, as you can tell, it's a holy mess in here. Let's see, let me pull out a Bruton. There we go, there's Bruton. This used to be one of my favorite toys of all time. I love my Iguanodon figure right here. I don't really have any... Oh, well, power just came on. That was terrifying. So yeah, I'll be able to get along with the video in just a minute anyway. And it's out again, so I jinxed it. And then here's Ema, the Styracosaurus. That's pretty cool. And I gotta find the lemurs. I can't seem... I thought they were up here somewhere. Bruton, Legacy Raptor. I know they're up here somewhere. I know I got the lemurs somewhere around here. Just can't find them right now. So I'll let y'all know if I find them. If I don't, I'll show a picture of them later on. I know I got those little suckers around here somewhere though. Okay, so starting off with the cast list. First off, we have Alfred Woodard as the matriarch of the lemur family, Pleo, and Alfre Woodard is played in, let's see, Civil War, Captain America Civil War. She's played as Sarabi in 2019's Lion King. And C, also in the Empire, Annabelle, and in one of the Star Trek series. Then we have Ossie Davis as Yar. He's pretty much famous for playing Eddie Murphy's dad in Dr. Dolittle, played in The Client, and he's probably most well known for his Grumpy Old Men. Then we have Max Casella as Zini, the little friend of Aladar, and he is played in Jackie, Ray Donovan, Blacklist, and Live by Night is what he's most well known for. Then we have Hayden Panettiere as Suri, who I think was in Dancing with the Stars. I can't quite remember, but I know she was in Heroes, Remember the Titans. She was in Kingdom Hearts as some of the different characters. She was also in one of the Scream movies and in the computer animated film Hoodwinked. Then we have D.B. Sweeney as Aladar himself, who would also go on to work for Disney in another animated film, Brother Bear. He plays a Sitka in that movie. He's also, from one of the most recent things I've learned about him, because I recognized the voice so fondly, was I watched a show called Mountain Men on History Channel. My granddad watches it, and I thought the voice sounded so familiar. And finally I looked it up and I saw it was D.B. Sweeney. I thought, oh yeah. So he is the narrator on Mountain Men. He's also been on Empire, Captive State, SWAT, The Legend of Korra, and he was even on a Sci-Fi Channel original movie, Swamp Shark. Then we have Samuel E. White, which he's probably most well known for. Oh, sorry, Wright. I mistook that. He's probably most well known. He plays as Chrome, but he's probably most well known as playing Sebastian in all the Little Mermaid stuff. Like half of his filmography is playing Sebastian for everything from all the movies to I think Kingdom of Hearts as well, to House of Mouse, to even being on the live shows at Disney World. He's been in everything as Sebastian. He was also on some things of or an episode of Law and Order, I believe, and also in the show Queen. Then we have Peter Saragusa as Bruton, and he's played in a couple of things. He's played in Home Alone, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, The Big Lebowski, and he was even in Country Bears. A very, to me, I love Country Bears, but it's also one that's very uncanny valley and weird. Then we have Julianne Margulies, or I'm probably screwing that up, but she's Nira. She's also played in ER, Snakes on a Plane, and The Upside. Then we have Joan Plowright as Baleen, and she's been on a couple of things. She was Mr. Wilson's wife in Dennis the Menace. She was also in Enchanted April, 101 Dalmatians as the nanny, and the Spiderwick Chronicles. Then we have Della Reese as Ema the Styracosaurus. She's been in Harlem Nights, That's So Raven in a couple episodes, and she was also in a pup named Scooby-Doo, funny enough. In addition, we also have different other voices. We have Linda Harmon, who was in Little Mermaid, and I think Tarzan as well. She's done some additional voices. We have Gary Schwartzer, Billy West, John Walcott, I think, is Walcott, Camille Winbush, Andrea Baker, Melanie Spar, Aaron Spahn, Evan Sabara, Chelsea Pino, Reno, I think it's Reno. I probably screwed that up. Chelsea Reno, Noreen Reardon, Bobby Page, Doran Norris, Tracy Metro, David McSharon, Ossie Stevens Logan, David Zeiler, Barbara Harris, Jeff Feinler, Greg Finley, Holly Diorif, Kathy Cavidini, Zachary Bortram. Zachary Bortram, I think is how I wrote it here. Eddie Lehman Broderick, or Bodeker, sorry. Eddie Lehman Bodeker, Sandina Bela, Lope, I think. My pen ran out, guys. I'm sorry if I'm butchering some of these names. Go to IMDb if you want to see the names told in the best way. And then finally, Matt Wilder, accompanying the entire voiced cast. The film begins inside a small dinosaur egg as Pleo explains how big things come from small changes. We then pan to a mother iguanodon caring for her nest as we get a beautiful scene of a large herd of different dinosaurs, including Brachiosaurus, Pachyrhinosaurus, iguanodons, and Parasaurolophus, including a juvenile which has its attention set on a type of flying lizard. which leads to the discovery of a hunting Carnotaurus, or Carnotaur as they're called in the film, which charges out of the jungle and gives chase to the herd. The mother iguanodon sadly abandons her nest as the Carnotaur charges through, destroying all but one of the eggs. The Carnotaur then singles out a Pachyrhinosaurus and kills it. A curious Oviraptor then takes the remaining egg, but drops it into the river after being challenged by another Oviraptor. The egg drifts downstream, and a hunting Coolosuchus, or a giant salamander from Australia as you'll learn, eats the egg before spitting it back out. The egg continues downstream as two Tularuses, species of Ankylosaur, roar at each other. The egg then encounters a group of Pachyrhinosaurs drinking, but then is picked up by a Geostembergia type of Pteranodon, which soars past majestic landscapes and shows us more herds of dinosaurs, before the flying reptile crosses a body of water toward an island. It is then attacked by two Ichthyornis type of seagull type birds, and drops the egg into the jungle below. The now hatching egg is discovered by a troop of lemurs. Pleo, voiced by Alfred Woodard, investigates the egg and takes a baby iguanodon into her arms. Yar, the elder male of the family, voiced by Ossie Davis, tells Pleo it's a monster and should be destroyed. But Pleo can't bring herself to do so, and neither can Yar, who relents and gives the baby back to Pleo. Fast forward 2 years later, Aladar, a now fully mature male iguanodon, voiced by D.B. Sweeney, is helping the lemurs prepare for a mating ritual, where Zini, a young lemur voiced by Max Casella, fails to attract a mate, but as the night falls, the group are treated to a meteor shower. However, this turns to a fight for survival when a massive meteor hits the sea right next to the lemur island, resulting in a massive shockwave and flying rocks of fire. Aladar hurries to save as many as he can. He succeeds to save Yar, Zini, Pleo, and another young lemur named Suri, voiced by Hayden Panettiere. He runs across the island, avoiding meteors to a cliff, jumping off before a massive shockwave hits the group. They then swim across the water and land ashore on the mainland, looking back to Lemur Island, now an inferno. Zuri and Aladar call out, but there is no response. Aladar then takes the group and ventures to find a new home, only to be attacked by a pack of velociraptors. While trying to escape, the group then find themselves in the midst of a herd of dinosaurs. As they collect their bearings, they make their way back to the herd, where they meet Ema, an elder Styracosaurus voiced by Della Reese, Earl, a playful dog-like Ankylosaurus, and Baleen, an aging Brachiosaurus who is the last of her kind and is voiced by Joan Plowright. Ema tells how the herd are on their way to a place called the Nesting Grounds where they have their babies, and says they might find other lemurs there. They also explain that being part of the herd can be tough if you can't keep up, mainly due to the harsh control of the herd's leader, Crone, a brutish aged male iguanodon voiced by Samuel E. Wright, followed by his subservient Bruton, voiced by Peter Siragusa. When Aladar decides to confront Crone about this, Crone tells him to learn his place. This is where Aladar catches the affections of Nira, a female iguanodon and Crone's sister, who is voiced by Julianne Margulies. The whole herd then start a perilous trek across a desert, along the way suffering from extreme dehydration, and losing some members along the way, as well as still being tracked by velociraptors and also a pair of Carnotaurus, as we learn. The herd is shocked to find that a watering hole they usually come across has dried up, and Crone tells Bruton to scout the perimeter for any water source, as he commands the herd to keep moving. But Aladar and the others try to follow a severely dehydrated Ema to the middle of the watering hole and help her back to the herd. However, as Baleen walks towards them, Aladar and Zini discover that her weight has forced water to the surface, allowing them to dig a small watering hole. Aladar then alerts the herd to their discovery. Crone then takes the watering hole, putting himself first as the herd charges in, trying to drink. As Nero looks on, she sees the kindness of Aladar helping Ema avoid pushing and shoving, while Crone drives others away from the watering hole. Later, Aladar and Nira teach two younger iguanodons how to find water. As Crone looks on, Bruton then arrives, revealing that he was attacked by Carnotaurs, resulting in Crone commanding the herd to move on without Bruton, which then leads to a confrontation between Aladar and Crone over sacrificing the stragglers. Sure enough, the herd eventually moves far ahead, leaving the stragglers behind. Eventually, they find a mortally wounded Bruton who has been left behind. The group then takes shelter in some caves, along with Bruton, who Pleo attempts to heal with a plant that used to be on their island, while teaching him also about hope. The group are then awakened by the Carnotaurs drinking from a waterfall at the entrance of the cave, but while trying to sneak away, the Carnotaurs are alerted to the group and attack. Aladar attempts to help the others escape but is dragged away, but before the Carnotaurs can kill him, Bruton helps fend them off. But while Aladar helps the others escape, Bruton sacrifices himself, causing a cave-in, killing himself and a Carnotaur, while the other survives and escapes to the other side of the rock slide. Trapped, the group venture deeper into the cave system only to find a dead end. Zuri and Zini discover that the dead end opens up to the outside, but while attempting to break down the wall, a rock slide only closes the opening further. Frustrated and about to give up, the group muster the strength to break down the wall, only for them to find that it opens up to the nesting grounds. As the group rejoice and begin to settle in, Ima discovers that the old entrance to the nesting grounds has collapsed and is now a sheer cliff. Aladar then makes his way back through the cave and digs his way out of the other side of the rock wall. Along the way, also encountering the surviving Carnotaur, which later gets Aladar's scent. Meanwhile, Crone tells the herd they'll scale the cliff the following morning. The next morning, Crone forces the herd to begin the climb only for Aladar to show up and challenge Crone over a safer way, leading for another fight between Aladar and Crone. But this one is far more brutal, with Crone nearly giving a final blow to Aladar, only for Nira to intervene, siding with Aladar. But before the herd can move on, the Carnotaur shows up and charges the herd. Crone attempts to scale the wall, but Aladar assures the herd they will all be safe if they stand together, which works as the strength of the herd intimidates the Carnotaur, leading to it hunting Crone instead, with Nira and Aladar close behind. Crone soon realizes that Aladar was right and attempts to fend off the Carnotaur, only to be bitten and tossed aside onto a boulder. Nira tries to fight the monster off, only to be pushed aside. Aladar succeeds and pushes the Carnotaur off the cliff, nearly being pulled down himself. Nira then mourns Crone, who dies from his injuries. Nira and Aladar then safely take the herd to the nesting grounds. A time later, the group watch and celebrate victoriously as Aladar, Nira, as well as many other dinosaur species eggs hatch. Also, Zini finds a mate. And the movie ends with Pleo giving a speech on whether the tales of the past will be remembered. As for the making of the film, here's this to say. The reason why I wanted to do it was because it had this cosmic vision about evolution. That sounds a bit over the top, but it would have been really good. There was a gigantic battle at the end as a comet moves closer and closer to Earth. The fight was between the sympathetic Styracosaurus and the antagonist Tyrannosaurus Rex. And although the good guy wins, there's nothing to win anymore because the comet hits Earth and all the dinosaurs die. The lemurs survive because they are small enough to hibernate. The end of the film was the beginning of the human race. Paul Verhoeven, the original idea. So the story begins in 1986 during the production of Paul Verhoeven's science fiction crime fighting classic RoboCop. Director Verhoeven conversed with special effects icon and Ray Harryhausen apprentice Phil Tippett, who would in years to come be selected by Steven Spielberg to create the dinosaurs for Jurassic Park. Technically, he made the dinosaur input device that combined CGI and animatronic technology to get more realistic looking movements. But while speaking together, dinosaurs become the topic of conversation, and with interest in the film project, after Phil Tippett's 1985 short film Prehistoric Beast, featuring a clash between a Tyrannosaurus and a Monoclonius, although technically it's been changed a little bit since then, he makes reference to Shaun, a Western film, and outlines a story where you follow a lead character through a number of situations and moving from a devastated landscape, desert, as in the film, into a promised land, what you could think of as the nesting grounds. Waylon Green was then tasked to write the script while Verhoeven drew up 2 storyboards and calculated a budget of around $45 million. However, when the idea was pitched to Jeffrey Katzenberg, the then Disney chairman, basically leader of Disney, he suggested a budget of only $25 million. Pre-production began in 1988 in Disney's live-action department, since Tippett and Verhoeven planned to use stop-motion animation, scale model, and puppets, also mini-sets, with the main characters being Woot, a Styracosaurus, and Gnazi, or Nosny, a Tyrannosaurus, with a small mammal animal called Suri as Woot's friend, which basically turns out to be the only thing they ever kept from the original script was Suri. The film would also have a darker tone similar to Prehistoric Beast, with a climax where Woot defeats Grozny, or Nosny, sorry I keep on screwing that up. But the film ends with the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction, events marking the end of the dinosaurs. However, Dinosaur would take a major blow, with Tippett and Verhoeven leaving the project probably due to conflicting ideas. Disney wants to make a dark dinosaur movie with a sad ending. Yeah, nope, that's not gonna happen. So producer and director Thomas G. Smith was tasked with salvaging the project, and now a few problems with Joan Rosenberg's pending script popped up, which as Disney wanted, was too cute and had the characters speaking. While Smith preferred an idea akin to Jean Amad's The Bear in 1988, where there's a personal story being told but without speaking. Smith also wanted live lemurs to be characters in the film and had a trainer ready to go. However, Smith would soon be asked to work on Disney's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and was replaced by David W. Allen in 1992, right after his film Puppet Master 2 was finished. The film continued to fumble as live-action elements, including real lemurs actors, didn't quite pan out, and ultimately Disney decided to take the film in the digital direction, with Jurassic Park also being made digitally, which killed basically the Zaboomafoo Jurassic Park crossover. Disney then found another director in George Scribner, and teamed him up with Ralph Zondag as a co-director. Storyboard artist Floyd Norman stated that Scribner wanted not just a story of struggle and survival, but also fun and humor, and to explore things like their size, shape, and textures, and that situations would come upon such creatures. And you can guess it, of course, Scribner also led the project to work as a Disney Imagineer, which isn't much bad to say about him. I mean, if you were chosen to be an Imagineer, that's a pretty big thing to happen to you, so there you go. And was replaced by Eric Layton. And along with the new director came a new script, with an iguanodon named Noah as the new protagonist, who lived along with his grandparents. Kind of reminds me of another dinosaur animated film where a herbivorous dinosaur lives with his grandparents. And a lemur named Adam who could see the future, including a massive asteroid, which leads Noah to try and save a herd of other dinosaurs while being confronted by a rival iguanodon named Cain. You can see a lot of biblical references here. You got Cain from Cain and Abel, you got Adam from Adam and Eve, you got Noah, Noah's Ark, all that. A lot of biblical references here for some reason. And they're also chased by a group of carnotaurs. The characters Noah, Cain, and Adam would have later become Aladar, Crone, and Zini in the final film. And on April 17th, 1996, nearly 10 years after Phil Tippett conceived the idea of Dinosaur, Disney finally seemed to get production going after acquiring Dream Quest Studios, which was merged with Disney's animation department and computer graphics unit to form the Secret Lab. While Vision Crew Unlimited provided live-action visual effects, 48 animators then started to work on the film using soft image 3D software and utilized over 300 computer processors to animate the film. David Krentz supervised the character designs and visual development teams. He had an orthographic view of the dinosaurs, and his character designs were drawn on paper and scanned into Power Animator software for the modelers to rig in the computers. In the character animation department, the dinosaur characters were visualized in the computer in a skeletal form. The rough character animation were then transferred into 3 software programs to strengthen the character visuals. The first program, called Fur Tool, was used for the lemur's fur, grass, and feather effects. Bodybuilder was then used to create skin and muscle for the characters, and finally Mugshot to create facial animation and lip syncing. Finally, David Womersley worked on the live-action photography unit shot on actual locations including California, Florida, Hawaii, Australia, Jordan, Venezuela, and Western Samoa. 2 film crews shot more than 800,000 feet of film for the movie, and only the cave scene was made digitally. And to get an idea of the dinosaur's size, Neil Crapella created the DinoCam, where a camera would be suspended by 2 72-foot towers. Computer control camera allow for panning and tilting and can move up to 30 miles per hour across a span of 1,000 feet. With most work on the film done, when you're complete, all footage was then moved to the scene filing department, where Jim Hallen and an effects team blended 80-90% of the film with the animated characters, and finally the lighting department worked on the lighting conditions and replacing the skies. The film's score was composed by James Newton Howard with vocals by Lebo M., who also worked on Lion King in 1999. It was reported that singer-songwriter Kate Bush wrote a song for the scene where the group mourn over the loss of Lemur Island. However, reportedly test audiences didn't care for the song, and Bush refused to rewrite it. Therefore, the song was dropped. But Asian pop singer Jackie Chung, I think it's Chung's, I'm sorry, Chung's, I don't want to say the other thing. Jackie Chung's song, Something Only Love Can Do, with the version sung in English, Mandalorian, I just said Mandalorian, English, Mandarin, and Cantonese, was adapted as the theme song for the film. The soundtrack was released May 5th, 2000, and the song The Egg Travels was used in many movie trailers, including Lilo and Stitch, Around the World in 80 Days, and the Wild Thornberrys film. Newton would go on to compose scores for Disney's Atlantis, The Lost Empire, and Treasure Planet. Songs in the films include Inner Sanctum, The Nesting Grounds, The Egg Travels, Aladar Nira, The Courtship, The End of Our Island, They're All Gone, Raptors / Stand Together, Across the Desert, Finding Water, The Cave, The Carnotaur Attack, Nira Rescues the Orphans, Breakout, It Comes with a Pool, Crone and Aladar Fight, and Epilogue. In regards to other info on the film, many Foley artists were used to create different sounds for the animals, which you can see in the special edition of the DVD, like chewing, stomping, eggshells cracking, all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. And also, a practical set of Lemur Island was basically blown up for the fire rock scene. It's pretty rad. In regards to the creatures in the film, there are a total of over 19 different species in the film, including the iguanodon protagonists Aladar and Nira. It seems a mixture of cow sounds were used for the herbivores, while the lemurs were voiced by real lemurs, mostly red-ruffed lemurs. The carnotaurs were a mixture of crocodile and big cats, including jaguars, I believe. The velociraptors were a mixture of birds, reptiles, and literally an angry chihuahua that belonged to one of the sound designers. It's pretty funny. You can hear it in the voice in the movie. Just think of a mad little dog, then watch the velociraptor scene, and you'll hear it. Other creatures include Styracosaurus like Ema, Brachiosaurus like Baleen, Pachyrhinosaurus, Talaris, Pteranodon, Ichthyornis, Coolosuchus, Oviraptor, and Ankylosaurus, Parasaurolophus, the flying lizard you see at the beginning of the film, and 4 other dinosaurs. I believe it's 4. One might have been confused by me. But a species of ornithomimid, I think it's Gallimimus. Definitely something akin to Stygimoloch as well as in the film. Also, I believe that's gotta be Microceratus, the little ones you see running around everyone's feet. And then I believe there's another Pachycephalosaur in the film. I can't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure it's something similar to something like a Primacephaly. I might be wrong. And as a another story in regards to the Carnotaur, y'all may have heard this before, but Jurassic Park 3 was coming around the same time as Dinosaur, and they wanted to use Carnotaurus in Jurassic Park 3 since it's pretty much an iconic dinosaur with the Lost World novel. However, since Dinosaur came out a while before, they decided to use the Ceratosaurus. But funny enough, in regards to Dinosaur, because T-Rex was so popular, especially with the Lost World coming out a few years before, they wanted to switch the design of the T-Rex into something else. Therefore, they used the Carnotaurus. So it's just this big mashup of wanting to use specific dinosaurs but having to make do with another one. So it's pretty funny. I also wanted to mention these other cinematographers, editors, distributors, storyboard artists, as well as screenplay writers and producers. Just to mention them because I didn't before. Pam Marsden, John Harrison, Robert Noam Jacobs, Tom Enriquez, David Hardberger, S. Douglas Smith, H. Lee Peterson, and of course the film was also distributed by Bonavista Pictures. Just want to mention that because I forgot before. Dinosaur released theatrically on May 19th, 2000 and premiered at the El Capitan Theater and was accompanied by an exclusive interactive dinosaur exhibit called The Dinosaur Experience with trailers for the movie being shown on home video releases of Tarzan and theatrical releases of Toy Story 2 and The Road to El Dorado. Disney also promoted the film by giving it its own ride in the Animal Kingdom, or basically just renamed and given a plot to save Aladar, and also a Dinosaur Jubilee was held at the Animal Kingdom, Dinoland USA, and it ran from May to July of 2000. And included interactive games, music, and a display replica of Sue, the world's largest T-Rex. Although technically, she's not the biggest anymore. Dinosaur was then released VHS and DVD on January 30th, 2001. And the film in total ran at an hour 22 minutes long. Disney also promoted Dinosaur with a toy line by Mattel, which you can see there's a ton of different toys like robotics and all that. And also like a hatching egg of Aladar, which is pretty cool. I never got my hands on any of those as a kid, only the McDonald's toys. which featured Aladar, Raptors, Ankylosaur, and a Carnotaur, which as the main ones, as well as, like I said, remote-controlled toys. There are also shirts, backpacks, and more, including another toy line provided by McDonald's for Happy Meals, which I have pretty much all of those. And also, I used to have a backpack of Dinosaur, don't have any more. All I have is the toys. I also have the movie poster, which I gotta show in a minute, as well as an old like activity book that's
Even me Britney Spears. Just match up the parts.
survived after all these years. Anyway, with the Happy Meals including toys of Baleen, Emo, and Bruton, and detachable lemurs that you can put on the other dinosaurs' backs as the main action figure toys, and hand puppets of Aladar, Crone, Nera, and the Carnotaur.
No.
Dinosaurs are
No,
taking over
no, not that one, no.
taking over theaters. In Motion Pictures Dinosaur. Get one of 4 lifelike puppets or one of 4 Pokemon dinosaurs in every $1.99 hamburger Happy Meal.
Don't forget your toys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Come again.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Welcome to McDonald's.
And only 3 days earlier from the theatrical release, on May 16, 2000, Disney Interactive released a video game based on the film for Microsoft Windows, Mac CD-ROM, as part of the Activity Center series, and Disney later released another tie-in video game for Dreamcast, PlayStation, PC, and Game... What? I'm recording! It's... The sound bounces in here and you just ruined a whole take. And only 3 days early from... Crap. You got me screwed up now. And only 3 days earlier from the theatrical release, on May 16, 2000, Disney Interactive released a video game based on the film for Microsoft Windows, Mac CD-ROM, as part of the Activity the Activity Center series, and Disney later released another tie-in video game for the Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, PC, and Game Boy Color. To mixed reception, and you can ask Clayton Fierity in regards to that. As for its reception, or as for ratings, it currently sits at 64% on Rotten Tomatoes with a general score of 6.1 out of 10. During release, Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars, praising the film's visuals but criticized the animals talking, which made the film less realistic. The New York Times praised the opening, but say the rest of the film doesn't quite live up to the first 5 minutes, but praising the visuals and score, which seems to be the main consensus. However, the film was still only nominated a couple of awards from the 28th Annie Awards, including the Individual Achievement for Music in an Animated Feature Production, Individual Achievement for Directing in a Feature Production for directors Ralph Zondag and Eric Layton, as well as James Newton Howard. And James Newton Howard also was nominated at the 27th Saturn Awards for Best Music. Delarice and Tom Enriquez were also nominated at the 28th Annie Awards for Individual Achievement for Storyboarding in an Animated Feature and Individual Achievement for Voice Acting by a Female Performer in an Animated Feature Production. Dinosaur was the 5th highest grossing film in 2000 and grossed $350 million worldwide, and was the 4th best-selling home video in 2001, garnering $198 million and selling 10.6 million copies. Ooh, I got a few more seconds left. I have a few more things of this dinosaur. I could not find the lemurs anywhere, but I do have this little puzzle piece of Aladar I found at a yard sale years ago. I also have this thing, which I don't know where it comes from. I guess it's a cake topper. That's what it is. So I have that also. So that's pretty much everything I have of the dinosaur. Actually, I do have this very, very old, very old, activity book. Pull-out posters and trading cards. Very old, very beat up. So, poor thing. I used to love this thing, love the pictures and everything. So, there that is. That's part of the collection. I have one more thing to show off. Alright, so before I end it, one of my most prized possessions in my collection. So, my family used to work a lot at Disney World. I'm going to put this in a custom frame one day. A little bit of a tear there, unfortunately, but this is one of my most prized possessions. An original theater banner from Disney's Dinosaur. This, you'll probably never find another one like it. It is so rare. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Like, I'm gonna get it framed because, you know, it used to be up there on the wall. I got the sticky tabs. I got tacky glue, trying to keep this thing up. Didn't work. So this thing just stays down here. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much everything. I can't find the lemurs anywhere for the life of me. I know there's somewhere probably right here, but I don't want to move everything and cause a whole collapse. But you've seen all the toys and stuff that I have, and I can't remember quite what other stuff I might have had. I know I got the other puppets somewhere, Crone, Aladar, and Nera somewhere. But right now all I got is the Carnotaur. And another thing is if you ever heard of Reborn, the brand of Reborn that make dinosaur figures, they have an amazing Carnotaurus model. It's not technically the Disney dinosaur Carnotaurus, although it's not named it, but it is an exact replica basically of the Disney's Carnotaurus, and I am so picking it up once I can. Stay tuned for that video, because once I go with Reborn, I'm buying all the figures I mainly want. I'm buying the male and female versions of the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. I'm getting the Carnotaurus, I'm getting one of the V-Rexes, and I'm getting the Mountain Gorilla, which is technically Kong. But anyway, I wanted to log off this video with some thoughts really quick. So, after reviewing this movie, I did realize there were some problems with the movie. Now that I look at it from people's perspective, I may have too much nostalgia invested in it, but I love the film. I love it. I think Disney did the right decision by making the animals talk, and I just love the movie. It's one of my favorites ever, and a lot of people agree with me who love dinosaurs and think it's a good movie. Now, should talking dinosaurs be in every documentary? No, but this movie did do a good job of telling a decent story with ideas that we can think that dinosaurs may have exhibited, or behaviors they may have exhibited in real life, like digging for water, migrations, all that. Even though many of these dinosaurs would not have even met together and came from Mongolia, Australia, or technically Antarctica, North America, South America, some parts of Asia, because, I mean, Carnotaurus and Velociraptor would never meet unless you're in Jurassic World. But anyway, yeah, and those are some of my things. I do agree that some of the story is a little bit bland, some of the writing isn't that great. Maybe they should have thought more about personal stories to be more invested into the film. I mean, there was a deleted scene of the original story, which would have had, technically when Noah was out, Aladar was called Noah. There was some really heartbreaking scene of when his grandparents die, and he has to continue on to save the herd. And it's really sad, and it's in a playlist I'll leave down below for y'all to watch all the footage of what I had to study to learn from the movie again. Also, thanks to everyone. If you see the videos of the actual movie and all that, I'm going to link their channels down below, or they're in the description or in the playlist already. And thank y'all. I know y'all had to rip the movie and all that and clip it up and release it on YouTube, and I don't want to take that any away from y'all. So links are in the playlist. You can go there and check out all the different videos I had to collect, and I'm going to be adding more once I'm done, because I want everyone to get their due respect. Also, fair use Disney. This is a review, because I don't think they still haven't released a claim on my Tarzan video yet. Even though that's my favorite Disney film ever. Anyway, so another thing I found out, I believe it's Ralph Zondag. He actually directed We're Back, a Dinosaur Story. Another fun fact: I've never seen We're Back, a Dinosaur Story, even though it's a Steven Spielberg classic, and I have to watch it. Let's see. And I also found out while doing this video that there are technically 3 different making of videos for Disney's Dinosaur. One which is on the special edition of Dinosaur on DVD, which I have, which I've seen before, and then 2 other versions that were on VHS I discovered on the internet, which people ripped from the VHS and put on to the computer, which is pretty cool, and I actually got to watch those and learn a lot more about the film. Or I got the toys, the Reborn, we got that. Also want to thank you to Tyler, because he was the only one of y'all. Y'all disappointed me so much, because y'all did not do the It was just me and Tyler. No one sent me a video of them doing the I'm very disappointed. But anyway, and let's see. Well, already did all that. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. I hope y'all enjoyed this in-depth review, technically, or it is, it's a video documentary of Disney's Dinosaur, a movie that I so much love. And I'm going to be doing a live stream watch along of it soon with my family. I might do another one with Jack Anthony Eowyn's, or just if they decide to want to do it. I don't know. So if they want to do it, we'll maybe put that together possibly. But I will most definitely be doing one with my family within the next few days, and maybe join along with Tarzan as well, because I didn't do Tarzan either, unfortunately. I'm also going to be doing another video soon of me reacting to the trailers of Dinosaur. Probably be out tomorrow after I'm done with this one. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let's hit the 3,100 subscriber marks. Woo! I don't even do that. Woo! Booyah!
The boom has been lowered.